Rick's List, CNN weekday afternoons, 3 Eastern.
This is a story. You have kids.
Right.
Your kids go to school. They have school assemblies. And when you have speakers, you think they'll be nice and inspirational, right? What if you find out that that school speaker is a convicted felon out of prison, serving community service, coming to talk to your kids as part of that assignment? Would it matter that that's the Atlanta rapper T.I.? That is precisely what happened at a Georgia middle school early in March. And I want to talk to two parents on the phone who are a little perturbed over this. Tom and Candy Myers, they're on the phone with me from Henry County, Georgia. Guys, are you there?
We're here.
All right. So when your kids came home, first things first, you didn't know T.I. was going to be the speaker. Kids come home, you find out. What's your immediate reaction?
We're just trying to figure out why.
What's your frustration? What's the issue with T.I.? The fact that he's a convicted felon?
I think basically if his background, if he walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's usually a duck. And I don't have an issue with T.I. per se, other than the fact that I don't think he's appropriate for my middle school girls to be inspired by.
Did they confront the principal?
So you reach out to the principal, right?
Tom? I sent the principal an email on a Sunday
issue?
after that. Basically, I was just questioning whether or not he was an appropriate speaker, and that in the future that he would or the school would ask for parental permission to go to assemblies, depending on who the speakers were. Let us make that decision.
Now, he gets back to you, and the principal says this. I want to share this. This is a full screen. This is what the principal writes. I thought about asking a guy who snorted cocaine and got arrested for DUI when he was 30 to come and speak to our kids, but President George W. Bush was not available.
Whoa.
Candy.
Yes.
When you saw the email, what'd you think?
I was absolutely shocked because all we were asking was from here forward to give us the opportunity to choose who we wanted our children to be exposed to.
This is a school, you told me on the phone earlier, where you had to give permission, for your kids to see a movie involving the Holocaust, correct?
Correct. The week before, we actually had to sign a piece of paper to allow them to see a movie about a factual history event.
So you feel like you should be able to have some kind of input when it comes to some of these speakers who are coming to talk to your kids.
Exactly. That's all we were asking for.
So now what? Where does this stand?
Basically, we've been talking back and forth with the superintendent and the chairman of the Board of Education. Had they addressed this thing back before the 15th of April, probably would have never gotten this far. But it seems like all they want to do is just kind of sweep things under the rug. And I spoke with the superintendent earlier this week and asked him when we might have some type of resolution for this, and he said they would get to it soon.
Wow.
And I asked him if it was going to be the end of the week, the end of the month, or the end of school. And when it basically said we'd probably get to it by the end of school, that kind of made me feel like they just really didn't care what we thought.
I'll tell you, what a story. Thanks so much for bringing it to our attention, Brooke, especially that comment. Huh?
I reached out to the principal. I did hear back from one school official saying that, the program was a bullying initiative, and they thought he was a good speaker.
And we want to thank them as well for joining us.
Thank you, Tom and Candy.
Tom and Candy for joining us and sharing their story with us and with everybody else out there in America.